Hey, playa, have you ever been sitting around with your friends, everything's pretty cool and normal, but then one of them suddenly catches your eye? There's something different about them today, something that you're super attracted to, and it makes you start thinking, is it okay if I ask them out? Are things going to be awkward and weird between us? Well, let's walk through what you should avoid and what you need to know going into that process so you can actually date your best friend without things being super awkward. Dating a close friend can be kind of complicated. If you were to ask them out and they said no, where does your friendship stand? Are you going to be comfortable hanging out with them and talking to them? Do you feel like you just need to totally cut them out of your life? There are no simple answers here. But just because there's a risk that things may not work out doesn't mean you need to totally avoid it. Some of the best relationships start out as friendships. You understand each other, you're comfortable with one another, who better to date? And before you run off and ask them out, I need you to answer this question honestly. Do you really like them, or are you just craving physical intimacy? A simple way to answer that is to think deeply about your friend. When you do you just envision them as a sexual object? Do you lust after them and not really care too much about the conversations or hanging out or spending time getting to know each other? You just want to be with them. If that's the case, that's totally fine, but chances are you're not actually their friend and they're just someone you like. And I'm not saying it's wrong to think your friends are super attractive and to actually have crushes on them. I think that's totally fine, but you have to ask yourself that deeper question. Is it worth pursuing them and potentially risking that friendship, or does the friendship mean much more to you than actually dating them? It's a hard thing to do sometimes, but it's totally possible. If you decide to just maintain the friendship and not take the chance, you have to recognize that those feelings will come back up. And when they do, acknowledge them and remember that you're putting the friendship first. But let's say the two of you are on that same page. You both like each other even though you're friends. How do you make that work? Finding out that your friend also has a secret crush on you, just like you have a secret crush on them, can be super exciting. But don't make the rookie mistake that a lot of people make. They think that just because the two of you like each other and you're friends, you should just jump into a relationship. And that doesn't guarantee that things are going to work. You have to make sure that both of you are on the same page in terms of what you're looking for in a relationship. Far too often people jump into things, think, yeah, this is perfect because we're friends, we've known each other forever. But once they get into the relationship stage and actually try to make that work, they realize it's actually a lot harder than they thought. They feel distant from the person. They feel awkward and weird because they didn't really nurture those romantic feelings and just thought things would come easy to them. So you're best friends, you both like each other, but you've decided you want to take it a little bit slower to not rush into things. I would say you need to focus on dating them. Now, dating is not what you're used to, which is probably hanging out with them and a bunch of other friends, doing activities together. You want to spend one-on-one time with them alone. In doing that, you're going to be accomplishing two very important things. Number one, you're going to be creating brand new experiences together. That's how couples thrive and survive, by taking on new challenges, by trying new things together. And number two, you're going to be allowing yourself to deeply explore who they are, to learn more about them on a much deeper level, because both of you have the same mindset as to what you want to build with your relationship. Not to mention that choosing to casually date them gives you enough wiggle room to decide if this is something you actually want to pursue. Let's say you go on a few dates and they're okay, but you just really feel like they're better off as a friend. You can make that call and not feel like you're obligated to break up with them because you never were officially dating. And that kind of leads to the third question I ask, which no one ever wants to do, and that is simply, what if things don't work out? What if things get messy and it's a really bad breakup and you want absolutely nothing to do with them? What happens with your friend group? Who sticks with you? Who goes with them? Do you guys still hang out together? Do you just totally shut people out? In that tricky scenario though, the absolute worst thing you can do is to force your friends to pick a side, to decide between you or them. Now look, your friends didn't go through the breakup. They didn't make things messy for you guys. So forcing your friends to kind of have to cut a person off just to make you happy is just selfish. And the best case in that scenario, if you want to call it the best case, is to be as kind and cordial as you can be to your friends and that person. Recognize that both of you have created a ripple effect in that friend group, and it is going to take time to repair. Even if you decide to never be friends with the person you dated ever again, know that your friends are navigating it just like you are. Okay, now putting that emergency plan aside, let's say the two of you are friends, you're in a friend group, you like each other, you want to date, you both see eye to eye, everything is good, all the stars are aligning. How do you prevent things from being awkward? I mean, you've been friends with this person for so long. How do you make that transition into being more physical? First off, you don't need to hide the fact that things are awkward. It's okay to bring that up and share it with the other person because most likely they're feeling that way too. And second, lean on the fact that the two of you have a super close friendship. Now that you're in a relationship doesn't mean you have to throw all of that away. You care about them, they care about you. You like them, they like you. So if you were to try to hold their hand or go for a kiss or make any kind of move, know that they're not going to just flat out reject you because you both are comfortable with one another. You both want the same goal, which is to build that relationship. So be bold, be brave, and take that chance. The awkwardness is going to be at an all-time high at the very beginning, but as you get closer together, you're going to start to notice it disappear more and more. Your friends are going to be more comfortable with the idea, you're going to be more comfortable being around them and hanging out as a group and being intimate with your new partner. So now that you know everything you need to know about dating your best friend, how do you make it a reality? How do you actually get the courage to put those words out there and ask them out? Well, I share lots of different tips like that in my book here, Embracing the Awkward, dating and relationship advice that's going to help you navigate those awkward scenarios. I also share a lot of my own personal dating stories in this book, which I think are going to be super helpful and insightful for you. So I'll link it up over here on the screen. I'm also going to link up a video that's going to be a step-by-step guide and how to ask someone out if that's one of your major sticking points. Check out the video, check out the book, and on that note, guys, I'll catch you next time. As always, love and peace.